the viewers out there, welcome to the program Perspective on ITV. On this program, we will look on a variety of issues with profiling solutions. Last week we were here, and of course this week we're back here. On this week's episode, I will be assessing Nigeria's 63rd independence, and of course what Nigeria needs to be on the path of greatness. So many issues have gone down, of course, so many issues going across minds of Nigerians as Nigeria clocks 63rd independence. But this afternoon with me in the studio to discuss this whole scenario will be I'm in the studio with Honorable Usman Daji, and of course he's the APC FCT Publicity Secretary, and as well as a public affairs and political analyst in the FCT. Welcome to the program, sir. It's nice coming back home. Yes, it's been a while, sir.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thank you for giving us accepting the invite.
Thank you.
So many persons have talked about this. What the independence this symbolizes for us, of course, for the heroes past who have fought so much for the independence. But for you, what is your take of what these persons have gone through in making, giving us that independence at 1960? Let's start from there, sir.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to congratulate every Nigerian for having attained this milestone. A child born 63 years ago will have, of course, possibly be a grandfather. And for us, we started by crawling, sometimes in 1960. Through thick and thin, we've been able to come this far. I feel that independence, as the name goes, is freedom. 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 Take the freedom of a man for just 1 hour, and you'll understand what it means to be independent. So for me, to have attained independence in 1960 from the colonial master was one of the greatest things that has ever happened to this country. All thanks to the founding fathers, the Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Ahmadu Bello, the likes of Awolowo, and several others who, of course, were part of that struggle. We say a very big thanks to them. And we will also say that we also need to thank the colonial master for also agreeing to lower their flag sometimes on 1st October 1960, and of course raise the green, white, green Nigerian flag, which is of course what we're enjoying today. So having attained that height, to the minds of every Nigerian, is one of the best things that has happened to this country.
Now let's look at our the various aspects. Let's look at our social justice system. We have our political justice system, and of course the economic justice system. How can you rate these? How can you class? What's the percentage of assistance when it comes to how we dealt with these issues?
Well, when you talk about justice, that is, in most cases, people look at justice as equity when it comes to a broader perspective. Talking about a country like Nigeria, most times when what is done to one part of the country is not done to the other, we call it injustice. Now, what does that mean? Equity is what Nigerians have always clamored for. So when you talk about political justice, economic justice, financial justice, and so on and so forth, you will agree with me that the need to have all this happening to every Nigerian cannot be overemphasized. What do I mean by that? Let me start with the political justice. To a poor man out there, he believes that he doesn't need to have so much money to contest politics. He doesn't need to make all the monies in the world to be in politics. He doesn't need to have all the monies in the world to run for the councillor of his ward or the chairman of his local government. Now, what does this portray to every Nigerian? What it means is having an enabling environment for every Nigerian to strive, irrespective of his financial affiliation, his tribal affiliation, his religious affiliations. What Nigerians want is, if I am wholly and wholeheartedly accepted by my people, Can I go out there and contest, even without being as rich as other persons that may be contesting against me? That is what we are talking about, political justice. A situation where whoever goes out there to contest election, wins the election, is allowed to take that mandate, to take the mandate given to him by the people, and of course lead the people, because it's the people's mandate, it's the people's choice. The choice of who governs the people is solely in the hands of the people. So that is talking about political justice. A situation where somebody would have won an election, but because he doesn't have so much money to, battle through the rigors of, what do we call it, of the tribunals and other cases in court, may be completely denied the opportunity of serving his fatherland or serving his people, is completely unacceptable. And I think that is what we are talking about with the issue of political justice. Then talking about economic justice. Is every Nigerian given his due? Are we being paid our dues? Those who are working in government prior to this period, are they paid their wages as at when due? Do they have the financial muscle to be able to meet with their needs? Every laborer is worthy of his wages. At the end of the day, are the civil servants paid their wages when haven't put in so much effort? Are the pensioners paid their required wages after retirement? And do they have enough to cater for themselves and their family? And so on and so forth. Now, every Nigerian needs to be financially stable. Every Nigerian needs to be economically stable. Every Nigerian needs to be on the same page. Whether you are rich or you are poor, must be seen as Nigerian. But I must have to add this here, that even though they said all fingers are not equal, but some, of course, are more equal than others. The government as in place today, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a government committed. If you look at the Renewed Hope agenda, his programs with regards to economy, it talks about how every Nigerian must be given his due, how the country's economy must be stable, how Nigeria, the dollar, must be able, the naira must be able to equitably rate itself with the dollars. What we can do to force the dollar rate down to at least measurably to almost about 40% of whatever it is today. That is what we are talking about. Talking about agriculture. He talks about so many other things, talking about insecurity, name them, and so on and so forth. So for us, I think there is hope in the renewed hope, because the president is determined. The president has seen it all. He has gone through thick and thin politically. He has been denied a lot of things politically. He has gone through thick and thin in having a stable financial position. So he understands what that means. And today, from all indication, he has come to right the wrong. And for me, I think it is a step in the right direction.
Well, thank you very much. Then let's look at politics. You talked about political justice. Well, looking at politics itself, how can you rate the young person's involvement in politics right now? And how do you think young people can actually scale through in politics? Because as it stands, the saying, of course, the talk has still been having more of these older personalities, yes, in the ground of politics. Yes. Nigeria 63. What can you say the youth? What access does the youth have in politics, and of course, what say, and of course, how much have they impacted, and how do you think they can thrive much in politics? Because politics is the key to leadership. What I would like it.
Yeah, I think this question can be better answered by those of you in the media, as journalists, as media men.
No, but somebody.
Reasons are that, judging from the president's recent appointments, since he assumed duty on May 29th till date, I can say it authoritatively that none less than 40% or even more of those on appointments of the president today, like the ministers and other parastatals, are predominantly the youths and women. Youths between the ages of 30, 34, 35 to 40, 45. They are occupying very sensitive positions in the country. A far cry from what it used to be in the time past. That is an encouragement. The president has done well, and the president understands what it means to bring the youths into governance. It beholds on the youths now to now tell the president that they are grateful for that appointment. And how will they do that? What they need to do is to go out there and deliver the mandate given to them. You will agree with me that all the ministers of this very administration are in competition. Every minister wants to deliver his ministry with the mandates given to him by the president, or to her, as the case may be. I can see the minister struggling. Let me give you a very clear case of the Minister of Women Affairs. When she was coming in, she was looked onto like a novice. She came in and they said, no, she has never been in politics. She's been in public service. She has been a sole business owner and so on. But she came in and she saw, and as I speak to you today, she is doing the job like she has been into politics for so many years, handling the ministry like never before. What are we talking about? Passionate about ensuring that the women, the girl child, is given its rightful place in the society. That is what it means. It's all about passion. You don't need to be in politics for so many years to be able to deliver that mandate given to you. All you need to do is having the passion, the zeal, the understanding, the love of your people. That is all it takes. And that is why I cited the instance of the Minister of Women Affairs, that have the love of our people, that have what it takes to deliver the mandate given to her by that office. So for the youth, it's a challenge that has been thrown to them by the president, and all they need to do is to meet up with that challenge, so that next time, when appointment comes again, they will have more better percentage.
How do they meet up to do that?
It's to deliver. If I give you an assignment, today you are an anchor person of this program. If you are not equal to the task, you won't be given the opportunity to do this. Now, if at the end of this program, you have not delivered what the organization is expected or is expecting of you, of course, you won't be seated there doing this same program tomorrow. So it is a challenge, like I said, to the youth. The president has given them. Go out there. Go and see for yourself and conquer. That is what he has told them. This is the mandate. You know our mandate, the renewed hope. You know what is expected of this government. We cannot but give to the people what the people have for long desired. And that means dividends of democracy across board. That is the challenge the president has thrown to them. Over the years, people see the youths as not being capable, not being competent. So this is the time for them to prove their competency, to prove their capability, to tell Nigerians that they can do better. And that will spur the president of having more youths on appointment going forward.
Let's look at political parties. Let's look at 1999, prior to 1999, and prior to 1999, of course, 1999. How much influence do you think political parties have had on their candidates as it stands?
Yeah. Okay.
And what role do you think those political parties should play
on the
appointees, and apart from appointees, even the sole candidate, the president itself, in meeting up to the obligations, challenges and obligations of...
well, prior to 1999, what we understand about politics is the holder and the custodian of political party was the party hierarchy, the leadership of the party, not the elected executive prior to 1999. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that party supremacy was upheld far before 1999, where the national chairman of a political party can sit down and tell the president, you are not doing well. Can sit down there and tell the governor, the state chairman can tell the governor, you are not doing well. Where the local government party chairman can tell the local government council executive, you are not doing well. Now, that is where party supremacy was able to, play a lot of roles on elected executives and, of course, on appointees of the government. But after 1999, after the return of democracy in 1990, it was like a change of baton, where those who, of course, are in governance, those who are elected, who, of course, have the economical muscles, took over the party supremacy, the party powers from the party itself, where the governor of a state would sit down and tell the party chairman, I am not going to do this, and he will not do that. But that is not what democracy is supposed to be. Democracy is about the party, because the party has its manifesto. It is on the flag of that party that you were able to fly, to strive, to be able to get to the position you have attained. That means that your allegiance, your loyalty should be to the, to the manifesto of that political party. And that is where political ideology has to play a lot of role. We tell Nigerians that the day we begin to have our ideology, political ideology come to play, that is the day we would have gotten it right. And I know we are on track. We are on the way to get it right with the president, because he's a politician, he has understanding, he rose through the grassroots to where he is today. So he has an understanding of that. What am I saying in essence? The need for us to return the power of political parties and those elected under those political parties to the supremacy of the party, that is from the party chairman down to the last person, depending on the organ, cannot be overemphasized. Once we are able to do that, I think our political arrangements will be able to strive better.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Well, we as at home have been on air with Honorable Usman Adaji, is APC FCT Publicity Secretary, as well as Public Affairs and Political Analyst. I will take a short break. Let's bring you clips from the talk from Honorable Ginika Tor. He's a Federal Commissioner, Federal Character Commissioner here in Abuja, on still the 63rd independence and the way forward. We'll be back in short.
To begin to ascertain if we're on the right track or not. But for me, considering the fact that I had my reason for supporting the present administration, especially during the campaign, and the reason still remains the same, that this is someone who had done it effectively before now, and even coming on board, you can see the speed also, just that, you know, we've been in a very bad situation that require time to heal. It's like when you have a wound, the wound will require time to heal. And instead of apportioning blames here and there, I think the most important thing that this government is doing that I appreciate is not looking at the past, but rather looking at how to fix the problem that's existing at this point. And for me, it's time for everybody, Nigerians here, Nigerians in diaspora, to understand that, like I said during my interview yesterday at the Independence Day at the church, I said, when you give birth to a child, you don't expect that the child should start running, walking, without crawling. There must be that dint of crawl before walk. Yes, sometimes some children are fast, some are slow. But I can see that even this government, this administration is fast. We have our ministers, you can see the league of our ministers. They are people of great potentials. They are people who you've seen them demonstrating capacity. And I know, for what they know about the president, when you look at the SGF, he's a man also that is result driven. And you look at his chief of staff, he's also a man that is result driven. So, and the vice president, also you can see with what he's also doing and what he has done before. So what we need to do is give our support. At least let's give this benefit of doubt. Let's remove sentiment from this issue and face reality. Like I always say, it's easy for somebody to judge from outside the circle, for somebody to judge from outside the football pitch. But when you are now put in there to play the ball, you will discover that it's not just what you used to see when you watch footballers. It's a different ball game when you are in there to be the one to function. It's not the same as you being outside the circle of the work or, you know, the administration. So, but one advice I want to give to all those that have been given opportunity by this government, be you minister, be you SA, be you head of agencies, parastatals, be you board chairman, board members, please, you need to change the narrative. The president cannot be everywhere. It takes those who are given those positions to do the needful and create a good name for the government. You can see activities that will happen and people don't talk about, don't start screaming, oh, it's gone wrong. It's because there's somebody working on the ground. I was just telling somebody recently that, look, I've traveled through our airport. It's not the same I don't know if I'm saying the minds of everybody. Do you see anybody coming out to say, our airport these days, when you get there, people treat you well, hospitality personified? I'm telling you, how are you, ma? Or what do you need? Nobody is harassing you. And I was moved to ask, what is happening? Are we still in Nigeria airport? And they said, yes, there's somebody who is heading us, and is a no-no for you to insult anybody or use nasty words, or that you must be patient to attend to everybody regardless. That is government. But have Nigerians come out to say, oh wow, this is awesome, they were at the airport, oh our airport is now beautiful, people are treating everybody well? No. But if everybody had done anything wrong, camera, as if we are the worst country. It's not true. Not only that, I remember during Ukraine, the return of people from Ukraine and Sudan, as soon as they get to the airport, they are fed, they are given money, they are taken to the hotel. Did any of those parents come out to start telling Nigerians how they brought their children back safely, fed them, put them in the hotel? That is government. Nobody did.
Well, welcome back from that excerpt from Honorable Ginika Tor, of course, Federal Commissioner, Federal Character Commission, on still this is called independence. I'm still here, right here in the studio with Honorable Usman Adaji, is Publicity Secretary for APC here right here in the FCT, as well as the public and political analyst. So let's look at packets of agitations all around the country, and of course started some while ago. What do you think would have resulted to such in this kind of situation we find ourselves, and what will be your advice and take on that, sir?
Well, agitations are expressions of opinions. When two persons are into a business, for instance, or three, and probably one person is not comfortable with the way the business is run, he has the right to agitate. Agitations is part of life. Agitations is part of politics. Agitations is part of any system that wants to succeed. There must be dissenting voices. And such dissenting voices, if its percentage is very negligible, of course, is ignored. I wouldn't say the agitations are to be ignored, but what I'm saying in essence is that looking at where we are coming from, 63 years down the line, Nigeria has achieved so much. Nigeria today is one country that the whole world, the whole of Africa, if not the whole world, is looking onto to survive. So many countries are looking onto this country for survival because we are endowed with a lot of mineral resources. Now, when I see Nigerians protest over issues that, for me, are expected to be discussed on a round table and agreed, it gives me cause for concern. I take it from the issue of labor agitation, on issues of minimum wages, on issue of the removal of fuel subsidy, and so on, or the equating the Naira to dollar. So it didn't start with this government. It didn't even start from 1999 with this recent democracy. No, it's been there right from time. The only thing that has been happening is that every successive government that has come has been doing everything possible to manage it. Now let's come back to the issue of removal of fuel subsidy. Now, is it true that Nigeria has been paying so much only in the name of subsidy? The answer is yes. Is it true that the issue of subsidy itself is criminal in nature? The answer is yes. Is it also true that Nigerians want subsidy removed? The answer is also yes. Did all those, the political gladiators who contested in the last election, did all of them during the course of their campaigns insisted that if elected, they were going to remove the fuel subsidy? The answer is yes. Then, if one particular government, a person eventually, eventually won the election and had come to office and had done what all of them had planned and had promised Nigerians that they were going to do and had done it, what offense has he committed? Why the agitation on the issue of removal of subsidy? Somebody will tell you, why remove subsidy when so many other things like issue of palliatives and all whatnot has not been put in place. Somebody may be tempted to ask this question. The time for the removal of that subsidy was the time the president removed it. Don't forget, he came in on 29, and his first assignment was to remove the first subsidy. I can tell you for free, my brother, that if he had not made that pronouncement then, if he had left it for another 24 hours, it would have been difficult for him to remove that first subsidy. So the right time for him to do that was that time. And he did it. And he is not unaware of the fact that it was going to inflict so much pains on Nigeria. He is doing so much. Let me tell you, recently I'm sure most of you are privy to the fact that about 5 billion has been sent to every state of this federation in the name of cushioning the issue of the effect of the fuel subsidy in terms of palliatives. Now it behoves on the governors in the various states now, and their government and the local government to do the needful. Now you don't hold the president at the center or the government at the center on this line because they have done what they need to do. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say here is that agitations are necessary, but when agitating, please do it in a more civilized manner. Because if you destroy this country, you are destroying your children, you are destroying your children yet unborn, and of course, you are destroying that unity, that love, togetherness, that thing that has banded all of us together. So we need to do it with every decorum.
Well, thank you very much. As I would just hope those interventions you talked about will be implemented by the governors, as you talked about. And of course, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, everyone at home, of course, I've been with Honorable Usman Adaji. Of course, is the APC Publicity Secretary here in the FCT, and as well as a public affairs analyst. We're looking at Nigeria's third, and of course, assessing Nigeria's way to progress. My name is Chu Kanwai. Join us same time next week on this program. Until then, enjoy the rest of the program. Bye for now.